It was 8 a.m., already late for school, but Henry was still in bed. He had spent the last 5 hours fighting a monster he hoped never to see again. The creature had a red, wrinkled face, two small horns jutting from each side of its head, and long gray hair that fell in tangled waves. It wore a black gown, clutched a broomstick like a wizard's, and moved with a chilling grace. But no, this wasn't a wizard. It was a woman. If Henry had to describe it, he'd say, "Imagine your grandmother turned evil." Yes, his grandmother. The day before, in the calm of the afternoon, Henry's grandmother had sent a message. When he read it, his eyes widened, his lips tightened, and his face flushed with anger. How could she? How dare she send such a message? It read, "My beloved son, I just want you to know I'll be coming to visit soon." Henry's stomach dropped. He hated when Grandma visited. Ever since he was 5, he could never forget or forgive what she'd done to him while his parents were at work. Now he was 13, and she wanted to come again, not on his watch. With his father's phone in hand, Dad busy watching the news, Mom in the kitchen, Henry typed a reply before anyone could stop him. No, please don't come. I promise it's a really bad idea. Henry's very sick, and we're taking him to the hospital. We won't be back for weeks. And there are other reasons too. Our cat just died, the garden hasn't been trimmed, and we're on a tight budget this month. Thanks for your understanding, Grandma. Henry read the message proudly. It was perfect, his masterpiece of excuses. But just as he smiled, his heart froze. The last sentence. Thanks for your understanding, Grandma. No, she'd know. She'd definitely know. His dad never wrote like that. Henry panicked. His heart pounded so loud it could have earned its own drum solo. He stared at the phone like it was a ticking bomb, waiting, hoping for something. Anything. A reply, a missed call, even a typing notification. But nothing. Absolute silence. Every few minutes, he found new excuses to wander past the living room where his father's phone sat. Just getting water, he'd mumble, his third cup in 10 minutes. Then, I forgot my pencil. Then, I think the cat, no, never mind. He'd steal a glance each time, pretending not to look while looking like someone pretending not to look. Still nothing. The phone screen stayed dark, silent, evil. By evening, Henry was a wreck. His imagination ran wild. Maybe Grandma had already packed her bags. Maybe she was on the bus right now. Or worse, maybe she was quietly plotting revenge. He could almost hear her voice. So, Henry is sick, Let's see how sick he gets when I arrive. At dinner, his dad picked up the phone to check something, and Henry nearly choked on his food. But no message came, no call, no hint of Grandma. And that somehow made it even worse. It was finally bedtime. His father had taken his phone upstairs, sealing Henry's last hope for a late-night update. Henry dragged himself to his room, the weight of guilt pressing on his chest. He lay in bed, eyes wide open, replaying every word of that cursed message. Restless, regretful. He turned, tossed, turned again. If guilt had a shape, it would have been sitting right there on his pillow, grinning at him. He couldn't stop thinking about the message. He had ruined everything. Morning came. Henry's mother entered his room, shocked to find him still asleep at 8:13 a.m. She called his name once. No response. Twice. Still nothing. He couldn't wake up because he was still fighting. The monster had returned, this time not in a text, but in his dreams. Modern science might call it a guilty conscience, but to Henry it was the worst nightmare of his life. After a few firm shakes, his mother finally brought him back to reality. He jolted upright, gasping. "Oh, it was just a dream," he shouted, half laughing, half trembling. But before relief could settle in, his mother spoke softly, her face careful, almost hesitant. "Your dad wants to speak with you." And in that instant, Henry realized the real nightmare was only just beginning.